Alright, so last time I thought the playtest was ending, but it really wasn't. So yeah, that's fun. Okay, so for this stream, I'm going to be going over the Frost Mage and the Dark Priest, because those are the only two classes that I didn't go over in the original tutorial stream. So yeah. Let me make sure everything's set up. I have to work fast here because it's really ending. Kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't even set up a new thumbnail for the stream, which the thumbnail difference between these streams was very minimal. I'll try to be better about that. Okay, so put that there. And everything's ready. Okay, we're actually starting now. Alright, so I want to go over the Frost Mage first, because I actually understand him. Good news is we already are kind of late game. So how many crystals do I need? We need 7. So let's just go. By the way, for the worker, you can just kind of hit 2 at once with the axe. So that is pretty important. Oh, looks like we're about to lose. Sometimes they'll just kind of drop them when you get stuck on certain things. Oh yeah, you can see the princess icon over there indicating that it's lower down. Yeah, I don't want to go that way. So the glaive came back. I think it's because of those ladders right there. But I'm just waiting for the crystals to come back. Sometimes he just won't get both of them, so... See, the musketeer is just kind of broken.
The enemy has captured an outpost.
Like, screw you, dude.
The musketeer is available.
I'm trying to make a video here. I keep thinking that that's a tree I can break, but it's not.
The enemy has breached our castle doors.
I put that there so it can't be bothered with, I guess. I think you can make it right there. I'm actually gonna go
The
after
enemy
these
has
crystals.
reached the castle. We have captured an outpost. We have captured an outpost. The enemy has the princess.
Okay, so you can't jump up back up right there. So I guess I'll have to go farther.
Has dropped the princess.
Okay, good. I can still recover the crystals.
The
It might have been better just
princess
wait for them
has
to
been
respawn
returned.
again.
The enemy has captured an outpost. There's
Nope,
one
leave me
village
alone.
left. Get to work, goblins.
Let's light some arrows.
Yeah, you're dead. Okay,
Captured an outpost.
now let's get that wood. Okay, now I just need to switch to the worker, and we can actually get the frost mage. I really want to show off. Wrong guy. Oh, by the way, you can press F to switch between these. I didn't cover that before because I didn't know about it until extremely late, which is really disappointing.
Mage is available. We've breached the enemy castle.
Okay, so charging with left click creates an ice spike, and you can use it to, I think you can freeze people? Hold on, I need to check the controls for this guy again. But let me just try it. So I'm using left click right there, that just created an ice spike.
The enemy has dropped the princess.
And then this is me using right click. It kind of does like a wave of ice, and he just uses ultimate. Haha, you can't get me in the water. But musketeers are still broken. Okay, so looking at the controls. So left click shoots an ice arrow, just basic, and then slightly hold it, kind of creates a small vortex.
I want to keep my star from freezing.
I don't see the vortex he's talking about. So apparently if I stop casting spells, then I will freeze. So like I just stop, boom, I'm frozen. And you can actually rest while you're doing this, I think. It's kind of weird. Okay, now holding down fully held right click will do like a circle, and it freezes people. And fully held left click kind of creates an ice spike. I think that does damage. I'm not exactly sure what that does.
We shall prevail.
Come on, just be predictable. So that's the next guy I want to go over. Well, I'll give Frost Mage a little bit more time of working with.
The enemy has captured an
I
outpost.
wonder why I'm not using my ultimate.
The enemy has dropped the princess.
Okay, so you can kind of just like tap left click and it'll do like an ice thing to them, which is really weird. Okay, so I stopped using my ice magic there, and that is why I okay, so I guess that's what his ultimate does. For the Dark Priest, he kind of hovers above everyone. So for the Dark Priest, his ultimate is hovering above the enemy and kind of draining all of our life. It's still pretty weak because of how vulnerable he is. And for reference, the Ice Priest, his ultimate is actually broken. So that's why I'm not bothering to try and get that.
Time to break some stuff.
Okay, so even if you time that well... So I'm gonna wait for my magic to kind of cool out so I can just become invincible. So I didn't mean to get stuck in the water while I was doing that, but I'm pretty sure you can rest while you are frozen to regain your health. Because I've heard the developers say that. A reminder, you can actually switch between these just by hitting F. You can switch between the Tier 1 and Tier 2 version. Okay, so by kind of like holding right click a little bit, you can do a vortex thing. Still don't know what the heck that does, but it's weird.
Question. I mean, it was
How do I keep my star from freezing?
The thing I don't like about the Frost Mage is that the class he's best against is the Glaive, and you know, I'm a Glaive main, but still, he's hardly problematic compared to something like the Musketeer. So, I'm not healing, so I'm holding cube, I can't heal. So I'm gonna try out the Dark Priest now. He's the next guy I need to try out. So, right now, he's trying to build a turret next to our, or not a turret, I'm sorry, a catapult. My brain doesn't quite work sometimes. So we need to destroy that, obviously. Which... we don't have a Dark Priest, so I'm not going to... oh, we do. I just need to... yeah, the mage is actually really good. Reminder to throw your glaive, which is really good. You just have to hold down right click. Sorry, I get mixed up between my rights and lefts when it comes to the mouse. The reason why I switched hats so much there is because I wanted to regain my health. Oh, but that doesn't matter because I need to change to worker in order to fix this up. Because I want to give the Dark Priest a fair shot. I've seen a lot of people using him, and I don't like him, but I still want to get him down. So holding down, just tapping left click
Defend the princess
I
at all
think
costs.
the only thing left click is good for is holding down
Has breached
on the enemy,
the
like this.
princess has been returned to the enemy playground.
And when you drain their life, you kind of fill up this bar here, and there's a way you can use it to heal yourself and enemies, but it's not the most consistent thing. I'm trying to be aggressive to show his abilities off, but you kind of just die if you're aggressive as a Dark Priest, considering all the musketeers.
The enemy has breached the castle.
Oh, from freezing?
So I think I'm gonna show his abilities off the 4 workers that are trying to push, and not the musketeers. He probably has his FOV set way up so that he can see. So, yep, that's the life of a Dark Priest. Right there. I'm gonna try going on to a different map, just so that I have an easier time. Nope, I get the same match. So I was hoping for the dungeon map.
Defend the princess at all costs.
Did you know that Goblin Jesus
Okay, so switching normally with F doesn't give you health, but actually picking up a hat does give you health. So that's an important thing to know. He's probably gonna switch to Musketeer or something like that. I think I'll be better off if I actually utilized the healing that the regular priest has to kind of survive more. Because he is really vulnerable. The Dark Priest, that is. So I can kind of just hold.
The enemy has breached our castle.
Oh, it took a fucking...
In her holy name, we shall prevail.
Watch this.
We have captured an outpost. We're attacking from
What
inside
has
the base.
Goblin Jesus ever done for me?
We have captured an outpost.
Alright, back to the Dark Priest. I might go back to the Frost Mage just because he's more interesting. So you kind of just hold your beam on him, and this charges your bar over here. Yeah, I'm gonna head to the Frost Mage. The kind of advantage the Dark Priest has, with his ability that he holds to charge up, it kind of does, doesn't affect where it targets more enemies than just one. So it's good against groups, but I don't see you getting in groups with this guy, because he just doesn't have enough health. It's really hard to show off these guys when there's just musketeers instant killing you. Which, don't get me wrong, the musketeer is really fun, and I don't think he should be nerfed damage-wise, but he's just able to use his attacks so much. So I don't think I can really do anything to this guy up here. Oh, I'm gonna use this guy.
Princess has been returned.
She's hitting me through the wall. That's annoying. I'm gonna switch to this guy to heal myself. Very useful tech. I just... Yeah, I'm gonna destroy this because this is advantageous to them. And not so much for our team.
We have captured an outpost. Captured an outpost. We have captured an outpost.
Hail, Goblin Satan!
The enemy has captured an outpost.
So even though he's up there, kind of behind cover, I can still just get him. Because the tracking on the Dark Priest is like his main strength. That he can kind of just keep shooting you from behind cover. Like this. Yeah, I didn't leave you alone.
In her holy name we shall prevail.
So I'm gonna destroy this again, because this is going to allow them to kind of press into the base more than I'd like.
Goblin Jesus ever stumbled
Oh man, I don't know. I think I was doing pretty good there. All right, so we only have 12 minutes, or not 11 minutes of the playtest left. So let's get going. So I know I said I was gonna switch to the Frost Mage, but I kind of starting to see
in her holy name
the Dark Priest's value.
Has captured an
He really shines
light up some arrows.
when you pair him with the normal priest, like just by switching between them, and when you utilize cover, like much more than you usually would.
captured an outpost.
Ugh, fine.
The enemy has breached the castle.
Ultimate is ready.
Alright, so nothing about the ultimates is that when you have a ultimate as tier 1, it requires less than an ultimate at tier 2. See, this is a tier 2 hat, so the ultimate requires... Gosh. This is a tier 2 hat, so the ultimate requires more. You need to build more in order to actually use
We
it.
have
Did you
captured
know
an
that
outpost.
Goblin Jesus died for your sins?
Which I'm gonna go with
I
the
wonder-
Frost
The
Mage
enemy
now.
has breached our
Like I
castle
said
wall.
before, I think pairing him with the Fire Mage is actually going to be useful. So the left click doesn't really seem strong against... Yeah, in that case, I feel like just staying as the Fire Mage might have been better. I don't know.
Ultimate is ready. Let's light up some arrows.
But I'll give him a fair shot.
How do I keep my stuff from freezing?
You know, might as well, considering there's only 9 minutes of the playtest left. Okay, so they're kind of farther away, so I can only see the fire mage working here. And I might as well utilize the mana that he has. I guess that's another use for the fire mage, is when you're kind of vulnerable because you don't have any mana left, you can just switch to the ice mage and you no longer have that problem. See, in this situation, I think just the normal fire mage would be way better. Let me eat. I'm eating right now.
The Freljord shall... Wait.
Could you heal me? Okay. Bots just sometimes don't wanna. Huh. That bot is being weird.
The enemy has reached our castle door. The enemy has reached our castle.
Reminder, you gotta keep...
As long as they don't attack
Okay, so you have to start resting before you get frozen. And that's how you're able to heal health while you're frozen. That's very good tech right there. Which I think just resting in general is better as the fire mage because he has less health, and then you can switch back to the ice mage so that you can switch back to the ice mage so you can get all your health back quicker than just resting as the ice mage. Which I forgot to keep casting spells. If you stop casting spells as the frost mage, then you will freeze. Once your staff gets frozen right here, you can see a little indicator.
The princess has been returned. The enemy has captured an outpost. The enemy has
See, in this case, I'm going to switch to the fire mage because he's able to reach much farther, I think. And he can actually set that tower on fire. Which his fire isn't exactly consistent. It's mostly. See, I can't even see the musketeer and they one-shot you. That is definitely not fair. And another thing about the musketeers is their shots kind of just disappear when it gets fired from far enough. So I think it should kind of like, not really do anything, but explode midair to kind of give a visual indicator, hey, that's where the shot stops. Because it's kind of awkward just seeing the musketeer shot drop. Man, he is just abusing that musketeer. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm gonna try not to talk so much about that musketeer. But we have 4 minutes of the playtest left. And I think I'm gonna try to get the Dark Priest ultimate off. Not that it's any good, but just to kind of show it. I'm gonna try to get it off when I'm not near a musketeer, otherwise I'm just dead.
the enemy has the princess. They're attacking from inside.
So I'm pretty sure this is just a bot. That's why he's not doing very good. See, I'm not gonna set off right there because there's a musketeer just camping the tower. They kind of have musketeers everywhere, though.
Attacking from inside the base.
You're now. I'm very one-shottable because I only have 2 hearts.
We have captured an outpost. Our kingdom has
Oh
fallen.
no!
Don't worry.
Oh, a
I'm
scratch.
sure it was your teammates' fault.
All right, well, it looks like I'm not gonna be able to show off either the Frost Mage or the. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna be able to get into a match that's already going, so I can still show off the Frost Mage and the Dark Priest,
Save me.
or not. All right, we only have 3 minutes.
Get to work, Goblin.
Better make them count.
Oh,
Okay,
Jesus.
so the match actually started. I'm gonna go back to Knight. Knight, my beloved.
We have captured an outpost.
You know, it's probably be better gameplay anyway, because you don't have to deal with those pesky musketeers. 2 minutes.
The enemy has captured an outpost. The enemy has captured an outpost.
Okay, that is ridiculous. That is pretty funny, though. He's healing him from underneath the map. Alright, so we only have 2 minutes. Till the playtest ends. Okay, Fire Mage, let's go.
Reached our castle door. Save the princess at all costs. The enemy has reached our castle. We have captured an outpost.
Oh no. You cannot hurt me. I literally just need to one-tap that. I can't get anything.
Captured an outpost.
Because I can't switch to the Frost Mage, and he got the health. You're not gonna get me. Or I actually got discombobulated. I thought I was going towards my castle. Alright, so we have less than a minute left.
To arms!
Less than a minute left of the playtest. Uh-oh. I don't know if the match is just gonna end or what's gonna happen.
An outpost. The enemy has reached the castle. The enemy has the princess. The enemy has dropped the princess.
Alright, so my guess is that the playtest is going to end when this match ends. Which, that's kind of nice. So he's a worker, so I can just target him fine. Ah, that's annoying. How do I get up there?
The enemy has captured an outpost.
Alright, well, that's good enough.
Sit down.
We have captured an
Saw you. Don't think you could just hide. Man, even when I'm right up in his face, he still does like way more damage than I do. Or just as much, really.
Let's bag more trophies
No, pick up the hat,
The enemy
dang it.
has captured an
Oh. Alright, so I'm gonna see if I can get...
Great. Now I have mana.
I'm gonna dump resources into this one because I want to use more of the Frost Mage.
Defend the
So I don't think there's any wood inside the base on this map. There definitely is on the dungeon map. Okay, so he's got that handled. I'm gonna go get Crystal to get the Frost Mage.
The enemy has dropped the princess.
Someone end my suffering.
Now I would dump it in an outpost, but I don't want to, for people to use it on something other than... Okay, that's annoying. But at least I got the crystal to the base. Hopefully they don't steal it. Yeah, this is mine. This is mine now!
Anyone got a light?
So, I need 2 more crystals.
The demolitionist is available.
Okay, so their bold workers are fully healed, but I don't
The
care.
enemy has breached our castle.
Yeah, this is... Or... Keyword or
The
we
enemy
can
has
use
breached
this
our castle doors.
to
They're attacking
fast
from
track
inside
back
the
to
wall.
base.
We've breached
Because I
the
care more
enemy
about
castle doors.
playing as the Frost Mage than
We've
actually
breached the enemy castle.
winning, I guess.
We have captured an outpost. The enemy has the princess.
Oh. I don't know how I didn't remember that it needed 3 rather than 4.
The enemy has captured an
So it only
outpost.
needs 1 now. Let me pick up this wood too, because it does need wood.
We have captured an outpost.
Wait, what? How did it... I put 2 crystals in it. Why does it need another one? Okay,
I wonder why I'm not.
so I don't know what's up with that.
ultimate is ready.
I feel like I'm having, Huh. Don't take the crystal!
The
You're
enemy
not taking
has
my crystal.
rescued their princess.
I'll need 1
The
more
enemy
for that
has
Frost
breached
Mage.
our castle.
You best believe I'm gonna get it. Oh, is that just a
Captured an
regular
outpost.
catapult? Yes, it is. Okay, you only need 1 more crystal. I don't know, where'd the other wood go?
The enemy has captured an outpost.
I don't know where the other wood went.
Where are the rocks?
But we need 3 more wood. When we could play with the Frost Mage. Which is who I want to show off. Okay, that's fine. I need
The
to chop
enemy
down
has
2 trees
breached
anyway.
the castle.
Oh. Oh, there's a lot of bots in this match.
The enemy
Am I
has
playing completely
captured an
alone?
outpost.
Have you given your life to Goblin Jesus?
No. So there are actually other players in this match. But it looks like we're getting a lot less because the playtest is over. Okay, so now we're actually going to have the Frost Mage. I'm sorry, team.
How do I keep my stuff?
I wouldn't normally make such a bad play like that. But... Okay, these seem like bots. They're kind of just staying still.
Watch this.
captured an outpost.
Anyone got a light? Let's light some arrows.
Okay, so they got a princess already. So we are going to lose. Okay, so
The enemy has rescued their princess.
that kind of, that vortex thing has a cooldown on the circle. So, I don't know what it
The
does,
enemy has breached
but I
our
imagine it
castle.
does something good. So, I'm going to try to show that off before the playtest ends. Which,
Our princess is as fat as can be.
I wonder
The enemy's
why I'm not
chances are
using my
slim.
ultimate.
okay, so it doesn't seem like the,
The enemy has captured an outpost.
so you can see the
enemy
cooldown
has
for that
breached
vortex
our
thing,
castle. Defend the princess at all
which I'm going to see what it does against this guy. Doesn't seem to do much. I don't know.
enemy has the princess.
Hold on, I'm testing something. I want to see how well this... Okay, so he's using his ultimate on me, which I'm not a fan of. But it doesn't matter because there's another knight in our castle. Okay, so it looks like they're actually going to get all three princesses on us. Which, I want to see the Frost Mage capability before doing that. So, if I hold down... I want to see the vortex. Come back. Okay, so the vortex kind of just stopped. It doesn't seem to really do anything. It does deal damage, though. But yeah, it doesn't do anything. I imagine it's bugged. Alright, so we have 3 minutes until this match is just completely over. That's kind of bittersweet. But hey, I'm glad to be here for the ending of the playtest. You know, this has been a wild ride.
We breach the enemy castle wall. We breach the enemy castle. We took the princess. The enemy has breached our castle walls.
Okay, so I guess that's pretty good, managing to stun the whole team. It's weird that this match hasn't been stalemated. I think it's because it's filled with a lot more bots than usual.
I'll get to work.
Okay, I don't know how to drop this, so I guess I'm just stuck, with the worker.
Inside the base.
Which is not
The
good.
enemy has captured an outpost.
So it looks like they actually managed to capture. Which is annoying. So, for the record, this vortex thing, the only thing it actually does is deal damage to buildings. Let's see. It doesn't... I don't think that extinguished him. I think he was just gonna be extinguished normally.
We have captured an outpost.
Okay, so that does do damage, but not much.
Our kingdom has fallen. Escape with your lives.
Okay, so it does a quarter of a heart. Definitely not worth it. It is definitely supposed to be doing something else. But at least I got footage of what it does. Okay, so the playtest is still going?
The gates are opening soon. Prepare to rescue our princess.
Help! My staff is on fire!
Get to work, goblins.
The Freljord shall...
Help
Wait.
me.
The enemy has captured an outpost. We have captured an outpost.
Alright, so I just talked to the dev. You can't join new games, but if the game is ongoing, you just keep going until he shuts the server down.
In
Alright.
her holy name, we shall prevail.
The enemy has captured an outpost.
To arms! Charge!
Archers supposed to wear green?
Alright. So, for any of you newcomers, welcome to the stream. I am going over the Frost Mage and the Dark Priest as much as I can before the playtest ends. And I guess the Fire Mage, because the Fire Mage is actually insane. The AoE that he has, like, I just hit that shot right there, that was pretty cool. So, if I'm not careful, I'm gonna end up dead right now. The water can pull me off. So, another thing about melee classes is they just can't get you from the tower up here. So you're both on my team. It's kind of weird how you just spawned into existence, but okay. Okay, so you can't use your blink while you're fully charged. That's an interesting thing. But I think that with
The enemy has breached our
his
castle.
tech, actually you don't even need to use the blink in order to get there. But can I? Okay, so that's a pretty cool thing that you can kind of start charging your mana. I think if you're in the heat of a situation and you really need it,
The
you can
enemy
just
has
use
dropped
that
the
to
princess.
charge while you're being chased if you run out of mana.
We have captured an outpost.
Uh-oh. So the blink doesn't just teleport you forward like normally, it can teleport you downward. Like that, which is just really weird. Reminder, you can see the cooldown below him. There's a little circle. Kind of hard to see in this lighting. But, see, I tried to use the blink there, but I guess I was just too high. But I know you can use it to just go downwards. I'm going to try to display that. So right here, I'm about to hit the ground. I blink. I blinked right there, but it still was able to go downwards. So my cooldown is still going. I think it's gone. Okay. So it's not much, but I guess if you time it right, you can actually dodge some, like, let's say, a musketeer attack or a fireball. See, that was more considerable. Now I'm gonna use the charge tech, but it looks like he's just waiting. Oh, and the bots have a weird bug where they will get stuck on top of the tree, and they'll try to chop it. So, I think a fix for this instance happening, you can kind of see it. It's easier to see here, yeah. So I think a fix for this happening is there should be like a timer that starts for the bot whenever he's chopping a tree, and if he just can't chop a tree after a certain time, it'll like reset his task or something. at least convince him to move just somewhere else and then return to the task at hand. I think that would fix that problem. So, stepping in any form of water, I guess this water, will extinguish you. So that's something pretty useful for this dragon map. Whenever he sets you on fire... Oh! Dark Priest hat. So, I don't think we actually have the Dark Priest. But since I picked him up, we can use him. I don't know, I'm gonna go check our spawn to see if we actually have him. Because that'd be pretty useful information if we don't have him.
The enemy has tamed the dragon. Quickly.
I don't know where the priest is on this map. Guess it's over here, the last place. Okay, yeah, see. We don't have the Dark Priest, but since I picked up a tier 2 hat, I can still switch to him. I'm perfectly fine. But I bet if I were to pick up that hat again, I would no longer be able to switch. So right now, he's just at a direct disadvantage because the bombs have a hard time going up these stairs. They kind of just get caught on each individual stair. Another problem with the bomber, his bombs are just kind of weak in general. I think they definitely need a buff. Both the worker and the demolitionist. But, you know, it's not too bad them not being good at PvP because, you know, they're not supposed to be, but it is still ridiculous. Like, they should be able to do something. Kind of like the medic in TF2. I play TF2 a lot, so that's why I'm referencing him. He is, like, by far the worst at PvP. He's definitely the weakest in TF2, but he can still hold his own with just his melee option. So, he can't really press, like, attack anybody, but the medic having the Uber Saw to kind of hold himself off is it really adds to the game. And it kind of adds the decision, hey, should I push this support class? Should I not? And even the priest, he has this swing attack. They kind of have a similar effect. I think this does need a bit more of a damage. I'm really sure. The priest doesn't really need this, to be honest, because he can kind of just like do this weird mobility hook thing to get out of bad situations. Which he can even go underneath the map. I think that needs to be nerfed. With the ability to go underneath the map. I think if he's off the ground for a certain period of time, the heal beam should just not work anymore. I think he should like detach, fall. So I actually meant to charge the other one. I'm trying to help my team here. Let's get you above 2 hearts, just to stop the musketeer. Because that's the main issue. Just stop people from getting one shot. Alright, so that looks like an enemy. And I'm going to... Fire Mage is good enough. So I think the enemy's gone? I don't know, I don't see his ultimate anymore. But good news is I can still use the Dark Priest. Hey, thank you guys for joining the stream. Whoa. Sometimes I just can't speak. Oh, it's his... I didn't realize it was blue. On this map, kind of due to the darkness, there's a lot of things, like this outpost, where you just don't really notice certain things, like the color of the team or whatnot. Which, you know, it might also have to do with my resolution. I turned it down a bit so the stream can handle. I don't think it really made a difference, but, you know, just in case. has less lag. I always prefer the game looking not as good for the lag to be not as bad.
Princess is officially at maximum plumpness.
But
We have captured an outpost.
the game still looks great, even at like lower graphic settings. I don't even think I could tell much difference. Just higher borders, or more defined borders on the characters. Like you see more of the black line. That's the main thing I can tell the difference between the graphic settings. But there's like plenty of different graphics you can adjust. That's more of like there's like one aspect that kind of has that effect.
Our castle door. Defend the princess at all costs.
Is ready.
The enemy has captured an
Also, I would showcase just how broken the musketeer is against the dragon right now, because why not? But we don't have the musketeer, so I guess. Oh. Oh, good. Okay. So this spot, it kind of seems like you get stuck, but you're fine. You can kind of just do that. That little ledge right here, in case you ever get in that problem. But there is a spot on a map where you just get stuck and there's nothing you can do about it. And I don't know why, but I've seen it in like in the Discord. So right now, yeah, whenever you see a bubble like that, try to go after the priest, because that means that there's a priest around here somewhere. That bubble over there is our own bubble. And you can kind of tell because it heals you. It would be cool if there was like a blue bubble for the blue team or a red bubble for the red team. But it's not that big of an issue. I'm going to show off the Fire Mage ultimate right here. No, I can't. Okay, so even when you're at tier 1, and I'm switching from the worker, which is tier 1, to the Fire Mage, the ultimate's still a bigger requirement, I think. I don't know. But you know what? That's fine. I wouldn't mind giving the... Oh! See, I didn't even realize that was that was the enemy's flames. I thought that was just some random fire mage that we were gonna be fine. So, that's the reason I fell in the flames right there. Whoa! Okay, so that's a musketeer ultimate right there. That's why there's... Yeah, I don't think there's much I can do here. Yeah, I'm just dead. Oh, so in that case scenario, I could have switched back to the normal priest and healed myself to save myself from the flames, but the knight was probably going to kill me anyway.
Ultimate is ready.
So even in a game as simple as this, there's still so much
I wonder why I'm
like strategy and different tactics you can use to survive, and that's part of the reason why I love this game. So right here, we're just dealing with the dragon, which the developer, Kuju, has said that he's going to rework the dragon because it is really annoying as is. For now, I'm going to sit in the water so that if the planes hit me, it's not as bad. Which they spared me, thankfully. I'm not going to bother with the musketeer, at least not just in a standard 1v1. Because otherwise he'll just kill me. Aha! Look at that! I predicted him. I kind of have to play dirty in order to actually balance the matchup. But you know what? I'm gonna play the musketeer now. Maybe I could show off how easy it is to kill the dragon with this guy. Okay, I don't even need to rocket jump. Okay, so that seems pretty standard, the amount of damage that musket dealt to him, or the barrel. That seems like
The
a
enemy
normal
has
amount.
captured an
But
outpost.
don't be fooled. These barrels can like nearly instantly kill the dragon.
They're attacking from inside the base. The enemy has the princess.
Oh, reminder to kind of, you can strafe off the momentum
4, 3,
just by
2,
moving
1.
your
Our
character,
kingdom is fallen.
like moving the orientation of your character.
We have
Oh, let's see if I can kill the dragon before the timer ends. So I don't know, I've seen the barrels like do way more damage to the dragon, but that is definitely a bug. The barrels doing like extremely damage to the dragon. It wasn't showcased there, but it does happen. And sometimes the barrels also instantly destroy the doors here. So Kuju kind of said that he's not going to do any hotfixes for this playtest, so I don't think he fixed it, but I think it's just probably inconsistent. So I'm gonna go after like the workers right now, because it's like probably doing the most for my team. Just making sure they don't have any crystal, because especially right now, crystal's definitely the most valuable thing for their team. And we already have someone from our team. I think that's a bot. Someone from our team getting their crystal. So that's really funny. So I'm not gonna participate in this fight as much as I normally would. Oh, that was a close call. People want me dead. Yeah, reminder, the oh, I couldn't even see him. I thought I lost him. But the Knight's Dash, it kind of allows you to escape the arrow's auto-aim. So that is a nice little feat. So some classes are more of an area of effect class, like this mage right here. Whoa. I got taken away. Let's see if we can actually pick up the hat. Yes, I can. So this mage right here, you have to kind of target groupings, and you have to predict where they will be by putting flames on the ground. And this like creates some really effective area denial. You can kind of set a barrier between yourself and the enemy team. That makes him a very defensive class, because the easiest time it is to predict someone is if they're running directly away or they're running directly at you. Yeah, he wants me dead. And when you're playing the Fire Mage, it's more common you're going to be able to hit them when they're running directly at you. Like, let's say they're pushing forward, they're going for this bridge. I flame this bridge. That just, like, heavily diminished their push. But right now, I'm going more of aggressive. And sometimes you don't have to shoot at the ground like normal. And instead, you can go after... I'm gonna go after the person more, and a lot of times they'll just kind of hang around the area that they are at, kind of trying to dodge you, and just hitting them at all, lighting the area beneath them with fire, is really good value. So it's important to know times where you should aim at the actual person, and times where you should just aim at the ground. When there's more people, aim at the ground, definitely. Because you can kind of get a general census as to where they will all be. Right now I'm torching the bridge, because there's not really a specific target I want. Because I did that, I'm providing immense value for my team. Now they're no longer on the bridge, so I'm adjusting for that. And sometimes the flames just don't work. I don't know why that is. Just another bug.
Get my
But it's mostly consistent. For when you get a fully charged on the Fire Mage, you will actually light the ground on fire. So I didn't actually manage to fully charge right there. It might just be a me problem, honestly. Skill issue. I think I'm fully charged, but I'm not. So, see, when they're so far away, you can kind of utilize the auto-aim to actually put in the work for you. Oh gosh, I am being pressed. But they have a catapult here that I'm going to take advantage of. So, important thing to note about this map, on this spot right here, it's very good to get a ladder going up here. Because you would think that this stops you from getting across, but it just doesn't. You can just jump over it and you're fine. These spikes don't do any damage, you're fine. But you can kind of tell that they're trying to set up over here. Or at least just get the crystal. I think this is a bot though, I don't know why you... Oh! Clinging catapult. Okay, so... the top of the map is typically where the workers and the demos, they push from. At least for this grass map. And then the bottom is where the rest of the other classes go. Because it's close to the princess, you know. Uh-oh, we didn't feed our princess. That is really bad. So he fell off, so we're fine. And when it falls off, when the princess falls off the map like that, you kind of don't have to worry because she will despawn eventually, and she'll get back to our castle. So it's fine. So the bots are kind of weird. They don't know that you can keep healing to get a bubble on them, bubble on your teammates, which is just so valuable. I definitely think he needs a hotfix. Man, I've seen Pigeon overload a lot.
The enemy has breached the castle. The
Ultimate
enemy
is ready.
has the princess.
You know, it's kind of funny. Now that there's way less players, like, you can only see... Like, my whole team is bots, and there's just me. And then there's the enemy team. So it looks like we have, like, 4 people that are actually players in the enemy team, and there's just me.
How does the princess keep
And they have mics, so that's fun. 2 of them do.
Are their swords bigger than mine?
So, did they manage to take the princess? No, they did not. So I think the reason why this game isn't nearly as stalematy as normal Fat Goblins is because 1, bots are just not as good, and 2, the Musketeer and the Priest is not nearly as bad of a meta. So, normally when you're doing the ultimate for the Priest, you kind of have to stay still and in order to do it. But he's just avoiding that. And I don't know how or why. I'm actually gonna record that and report that for the ultimate bug. But I'm gonna get the Dark Priest so that I can... Oh, we have wood. Okay, good. I'm gonna get the Dark Priest so that we can actually target that guy. Because right now he's just kind of jumping around. It's like impossible to hit him. It looks like they actually won. Got the princess.
Captured an outpost.
Yeah, they got it.
We have captured an outpost.
I am not using my ultimate.
Wow. The whole team just comes. That is kind of fun about the bots, is how they just swarm because they have the same directive of attack the enemy, attack the enemy.
Anyone
We've
got a light?
breached the enemy
So
castle
I'm gonna
door.
try to utilize
We've breached
the
enemy
Dark
castle.
Priest's
The
ultimate,
enemy has breached our castle door.
which sometimes when you die you just get this
The princess at all
random...
costs. The enemy has breached our castle.
They have...
Defend
Okay.
the princess at
Sometimes you
all
just get this
costs.
random...
The enemy has captured an outpost. The enemy has dropped the princess.
I need help!
The enemy has the princess. The enemy has captured an outpost. The enemy has
Lag spike, that's what I was gonna say. Get this random lag spike.
Ultimate is ready.
Oh, I also think a big reason why it's not so stalematy is because we are actually... oh, he's just occupying the whole team.
Is ready.
Alright, what was I about to say? Okay, the raw meat. The princess is just not being fed raw meat. You know, that's fine. I'm not gonna press. Which, wow.
My profession.
My game is just in slow motion. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of happy that the Frost Mage isn't that good because he'd be really annoying if he was.
Ultimate is
I mean, he already is kind of annoying. Man, my frames are just gone.
captured an outpost.
I'm gonna take this just so it's easier to destroy. Alright, thank you guys for sticking by. I mean, this is probably just because the playtest is over.
The
But
enemy has
I do
breached
appreciate
the
it.
castle. The enemy has the princess.
I will do a tutorial video on Fat Goblins, and then I'll be done covering Fat Goblins until the next playtest. But do check out my other content. I'm going to be going over another indie game that's completely out. Which I forgot what it's called. So that is the Dark Priest Ultimate right there. So, yeah.
I have
is ready.
The enemy has the princess. The enemy has rescued their princess.
given your life to Goblin Jesus?
Okay, I don't know what... I'm not gonna disconnect because then the play... I'm just out.
Hail
But,
Goblin Satan!
I don't know how to fix this.
Did you know that Goblin Jesus died for your sins?
The enemy has
What has
captured
Goblin
an
Jesus
outpost.
ever done for me?
I'm gonna check my stream settings actually. I got an error here for some reason. Okay, my friends are back.
The enemy has breached
We
our
are A-okay. They definitely do need to add an auto balance feature for when a situation like this happens, where one team is like full of bots and one team is full of players. Because right now it's not egregious, but I have heard complaints where that has happened. But hey, they collected all 3 princesses. Good on them. It was just bots they were playing with. I mean, I wasn't really trying. I just kind of messing around. Random classes. But, you know. You know.
The gates are opening soon. Prepare to rescue our princess.
Anyone got a light?
Get to work, goblins.
Let us charge!
Captured an outpost. The enemy has captured an outpost.
Oh, I gotta set up my,
The enemy has captured an outpost.
Sorry, I haven't been messing with my PNG tuber thingy. Just kind of leaving him to chill out. I was more worried about the game than I was the PNG tuber, so just trying to get a few moments out rather than worry about him. And I'm not sure. Let me look through the character expressions that I have. So it's focused, shocked, nervous, angry, poggers. So those are all the different PNG tubers that things I have. I actually have to stop using either my left hand or my right hand in order to change those. So maybe I could get like a foot keypad. I don't know, I'm not too worried about it. Eventually, when I get big and famous, I'll get a moderator that adjusts it for me. I don't know. I don't really care. I am an archer now, and you're done for.
The enemy has the princess.
Go, worker, go! I believe in you. Yeah, worker's putting in that work. Dude, I think worker's actually meta. I was wrong about saying that they were in need of a PvP update. He just showed me. Oh, another cool thing about the archer that I didn't mention before, you can light his arrows on these torches. So, that is really nice.
The enemy has rescued their princess. We have captured an outpost.
I can see you, but you can't see me. How does it feel? You are dead. No big surprise. You are dead, not big surprise.
The demolitionist is available.
Yeah, the flame arrows are actually really strong. So if you're playing archer, that is something you should definitely take advantage of. It's like, I think it's almost as strong as the musketeer. Maybe even just as strong. But just without having to reload. So, I don't know. Pretty cool. Yeah, so... Sometimes he just... I don't think he even realizes that he's playing against bots. He thinks that he's like actually trolling and getting tons of people to follow him. But really, it's just me. Okay, this is definitely a bot. He's not really doing anything. I think the range bots just don't know what to do when they don't know what to do when they're pressed. They kind of just like, oh, I'm gonna run away instead of actually fighting back. Which I guess because I don't have any players on my team, I'm not gonna get any crystals, and I'm just gonna be stuck with tier 1 classes, which not best. Yeah, I think the inconsistency with the flames was just on me. I don't think that's an actual bug. I think I'm just bad. It is an L for me, specifically. The drop in the bucket of the crystals needed. Uh-oh. That's no good. Okay, we are fine. Yeah, that is definitely a bug, just being able to use your ultimate while jumping around. No way that's intentional. Okay. Dang it.
We've breached the enemy castle wall. We've breached the enemy castle. We have captured an outpost. The enemy has captured an outpost. The enemy has rescued their princess. We have captured an outpost.
Ultimate is ready.
Save me!
I'm actually gonna try to stop them from getting the last princess by using this archer ultimate.
The enemy has
But I think that's the
captured an
only
outpost.
thing that can actually stop them. Because, yeah, there's still 4 players. Uh-oh, I should not have...
The enemy has breached our castle.
I don't know how you keep getting your ultimate so fast.
The thrill your shouts.
Inside the base. We have captured an outpost.
Oh,
Tis not a scratch.
Our kingdom has fallen. Escape with your lives. The enemy has reached our castle. Defend the princess at all costs.
alright, hopefully it won't... Okay. See, I don't know what's up with this.
In her holiday.
Maybe they're all in a party together?
To rescue our princess.
I don't know, but it's definitely not balanced.
Help! My staff is on
The thrill your shouts.
To fight for him.
Defend the crown. Purge the unrighteous.
I'm gonna try actually feeding some meat to the princess. Throw a
The
wrench in
enemy
her
has
plans.
captured an outpost. We have captured an outpost.
There's no dead bodies. That's a problem, though. I guess I'll have to defend more, wait for the bodies to pile up, and then
Are their swords bigger than mine?
I'm gonna go after the corpses.
The enemy has captured an outpost.
Maybe they'll go after the dragon first? I don't know. Okay, good. We actually are getting plenty of crystal. So they know how to do that on this map. Oh yeah, that's another important mention for the warrior, is that whenever he's charging and you jump right when, so you jump as you charge, and then you jump again, it maintains some of your momentum. And when you're going off like a cliff or something like that, it really makes a difference. They're not really pressing the castle, which makes me think that they're just building up crystal to get the musketeer, which they probably are. In case that happens, I'm gonna go musketeer because, you know, might as well. I don't know. You know, I was kind of worried that the bots just would not know to get the crystal, or they'd be just prevented from doing so. So the player workers kind of had like a reason to exist. But I guess not. The workers do go after the crystals. Which... Okay, so this is just the standard archer, which, as you can see, is not doing much damage. But you can still grab crystals. Up to you up. Okay, can I just do that? No. No, that was bad. Okay, we only need one crystal, I think. My memory serves. Which it probably doesn't. My memory isn't very good.
Some arrows.
They breached our castle, but they haven't, haven't really done anything. I mean, the bots are just gonna fix up the wall. Oh, I'm gonna go show off the dragon getting blown up, because that happens a bunch. Where the dragon just gets instantly killed. I mean, the musketeer definitely needs a nerf, but I don't want a nerf to the distance on his barrels. That is something I quite like. But just a limit to his reload would be so very nice. So right now there's only 3 players left in the playtest, and one of them is me. So, yeah. Definitely feels a lot more empty. You don't have people in the voice chat, which was really fun. I like the high-pitchedness to it, because it's not like you can tell the difference between a kid and just a 30-year-old man. Yeah, reminder to turn your character to kind of steer the momentum in the direction you want. The strafing works a lot like the Source engine does. so you can direct it to where you want it to be.
The enemy
Which
has tamed the dragon.
just look at these.
Quickly, get it back.
Look at these musketeers. They don't know what to do.
Our castle door.
I mean, okay, you know what to do.
Our castle.
Look at this. The musketeers are just afraid. That is really funny.
The enemy has breached our castle.
The priest doesn't care. My team doesn't really care. The bots are just not that smart. Oh man, this is really funny. Okay, the dragon is doing more.
Attacking from inside. The enemy has the princess.
Did you know that Goblin Jesus died for your sins? I wanted a gun.
So, like, in the chaos of the game, you don't realize how dumb the bots are, but every now and then you'll just have that moment where you just see it. So right now on fire, get in the water, you're fine.
The enemy has
But
captured an outpost.
actually, I want to see. Do I still hurt? Okay, so the water just... I don't even know if the water actually does extinguish you. I know it does on the grass map. I don't know about this water. Weird.
Why are my teammates always so bad?
Oh wow. The game actually blames your teammates for you. That is insane. Okay, let's show off the dragon getting instant. Oh! Not if that happens. I don't think the dragon likes being insta-killed.
Have you given your life to Goblin Jesus?
The enemy
Let's
has
make more
breached the
trophies
castle.
for the princess. Someone's got to be the healer. Just a
You know, it makes you wonder if doing all that damage to the dragon is just taming him. Is this like effective to just tiring him out until he gives up? And he's like, okay, you know what? I don't want to fight you anymore. I'll fight the other team. Because I feel like that's more what the dragon is like than actually like getting hurt by you.
Has breached our castle.
Okay, so right there, it didn't do ridiculous amounts of damage. I think you actually have to get the bomb underneath him.
The enemy has dropped the princess.
I wasn't even able to hit the barrel there.
Has dropped the princess.
Was I? I don't know, it's hard to tell when you're fighting against a dragon. So get out of the way of his flames.
The enemy has breached our castle.
Pull!
The enemy has
Okay,
the
I don't...
princess. The enemy has
Alright.
dropped the princess. The princess has been returned.
These things can only hold one shot.
The enemy has breached our castle. Defend the princess at all costs. The enemy has the princess. We have captured an outpost.
That'll do.
The enemy has dropped the princess. The princess has been returned.
Yeah, Musketeer's still broken. You know, you guys abused Musketeer against me, I'll do it to you. Wait, they actually got the princess? I didn't even notice. Maybe I did and I forgot. Okay, yeah, look at this. You just don't care. I mean, do you have that problem? I don't know.
breached our castle doors. They're attacking from inside the base.
Ready.
The enemy has breached the castle.
As long as they don't attack me while I'm reloading. Two down.
Which, let's see if this... I want to see if the archer bots have the same problem. Uh-oh. So, I can't do anything about the flames. I suppose I could have gotten in the water.
The enemy has
That is
the
something I
princess.
should have done.
The enemy has breached our castle. They're attacking from inside the base. The princess
Ultimate
all
is
cost.
ready. These things can only hold one shot.
Have captured an outpost.
They got our princess. No fun. Oh, but you know what? I actually don't care about the princess. I wanted to mess with the dragon. Because I want to see that insta-kill weird bugness that I've seen before with the barrels. Which, I don't know, it hasn't happened. Maybe he really did fix it. Even though he said he wouldn't be doing anything like that.
We have captured an outpost.
You know, if I can't do that, I'll at least show off the weird hiding spot I found on this map. Which, wow, that is annoying.
The enemy has captured an outpost. The enemy has captured an outpost.
Ultimate is ready.
The enemy has breached our exit door. Defend the princess attacking from inside the base. The enemy has breached our castle.
Ultimate is ready.
Captured an outpost. The enemy has dropped the princess.
You missed.
The princess has been returned.
Thank you, bot. If only you'd heal me to bubble. Okay, but now I can actually get all this delicious meat. Which, I really don't do this. You know, it's at least it's something.
The enemy has captured an outpost.
I don't really care to keep doing
There's
it.
1 minute left.
Oh, I want to show the hiding spot before the match ends. So, I'm gonna do that.
The enemy has
I wonder if the bots are even capable.
The enemy has
Okay,
breached
so
our
I
castle.
need to extinguish. Okay, good. So the water does actually extinguish it there. I would have completely died in normal circumstances.
30 seconds left.
Okay, so right here, you can
The enemy has breached our castle.
you can hide
The
right here,
enemy has the
and you can
princess.
also go outside of the map.
The enemy has
Which,
dropped
if
the
you do it
princess.
right, you can. Whoa!
The princess has been returned.
Whoa! That was quite the save right there. I must admit.
2, 1.
Hopefully
Our
the.
kingdom has fallen. Escape with your lives.
I'm gonna see if I can use my ultimate on the dragon before time ends. Nope. Okay,
The
I ran out
enemy
of time.
has dropped the princess.
Okay, there's only 3 players left
Opening soon. Prepare
in the
to
entire
rescue our
playtest.
princess.
At least I think. There might be another server because he mentioned that you can that the developer Kuju, he mentioned
Capture
that he was going to shut down the servers, so that implies there's multiple.
the enemy has captured
I'd expect he only kept the one open. I probably just got lucky. Oh, there's a lot of fire mages and priests. Are you a player? You look like a player. You're actually weird. I don't know, the bots are pretty weird too, though. You never know.
the enemy has captured an outpost.
Hey, you're a bot. You can kind of tell by their names. I still would like an indicator. Hey, bot. Like a little tag next to their name. Just because when you're in the heat of battle, it's hard to notice. I would actually just sit down and read their mind, read their name. Like, hey, is that someone actually being funny on Steam? Or I'd imagine that there's some like Steam people who would like to pretend to be bots. Like that is going to happen sooner or later. It probably already has happened. Wait, can he? Okay. The Thunder Mage also cannot use his abilities in water. So that's fine. I wouldn't want him to anyway. If you hold your charge before going in the water, you can keep it. But other than that, I'm gonna test if that's just for the Fire Mage, or if that's a universal class thing. Heal me, bot. Heal me. They really have a hard time holding their beam on you. Okay, let's test. Okay, it is not just for the Fire Mage. I think any class. Let's try.
Have you given your life to Goblin Jesus?
Yes, any class. Do you want healing or what?
The enemy has captured
Okay,
an
so
outpost.
I just heard the priest is available. Maybe I could see more of his abilities when I'm playing against bots.
Holy name, we shall prevail. Life to Goblin Jesus.
You know, might as well. I thought I heard something about the priest
Aren't
being
archers
available.
supposed to wear green? The Freljord shall... Wait.
Who actually is available? Okay, the demolitionist, not the priest. It had that same S on it. The S. Okay, so there's only one other player. I will be the last. You know, I think I'm actually going to use this opportunity to showcase every single class in the game. Because I think it's a unique opportunity. Hey!
We have captured an
We're the last 2 players in the playtest. I think you can hear me. I actually don't know. Look at all of this wood. Oh my gosh. You know, unless there's another server going that's just, you know, more players, I don't know. Alright, you know, I think I'm just gonna start monologuing on every single class, because I might as well. Alright, so welcome to Fat Goblins. Today I'm going to be going over every single class in the
The
game.
enemy has
Time
captured
to
an
chop
So this is the worker class. The worker class is able to chop stuff. This includes trees and crystals, which are way up there. You can pick up wood by pressing E, and once you already started picking up resources, just walk over any more resources and you'll pick them up as well. And if you press E again, you'll drop them. A common mistake is if you press E right here and then I want to pick up this other resource and I press E to do it, you'll just drop everything. And sometimes the resource will just disappear. I don't know. Not the most consistent. But when you have something like wood, you can pick it up and you can drop it at a building that needs it. So it said 3 before, but now it says 2. So that shows how much wood it needs and how much crystal it needs. Now, wood is really close to the base, and it's easier to get. But crystal, you have to go further out, closer to the middle of the map. Now, on this map, there's crystals located out here, which I'm going to wait for them to spawn. And for now, I'm going to get some wood so I can showcase just how much you can carry. So, the more you carry, the slower you are, but you can carry a ridiculous amount of stuff. Now, if something, like this tree, it collides with whatever you have, you'll just drop it. So as this worker's showing over here, you can slash these crystals just like you can with the trees and pick them up. Now, for the worker variant, he can place a ladder. Now, this ladder requires 2 wood, and you can place on it to use it. Now, for most buildings, you can see how many kingdom resources you have. So I have 13 crystal and 35 wood. For most buildings, you can just hold down on them and spend the resources there from over here on the building directly. Now, you may be wondering how you're actually getting the resources to the crystal, to this kingdom storage or whatever. Well, in order to do that, all you have to do is pick up a resource and go towards a friendly bolt. When you do that, and you press E on it to drop it, remember that, it'll deposit. So I just deposited 2 crystals. 2 crystals went into the storage. Now, if I go back to my base, actually no, I don't need to, but I'll show it anyway. Back to the base, and this hat that doesn't have the little patch on it, this is the bomber, or the demolitionist, that's what it's called. Now, this doesn't really do much damage, and it's not very good to be honest. But the main thing about this class is that he can actually place catapults. So right here, let's show it off. So the catapult requires 2 crystals and 2 wood. It's there's a lot of areas where it's just hard to get crystal, so you have to be selective with where you're able to place these catapults. But the catapults are so good that it's definitely worth it for sieging onto the enemy base, or just getting from your base across the map, or even carrying the princess and going on the catapult to launch yourself forward. Now I'm waiting for the crystals to show up again so I can actually finish this. Alright. Sometimes the resources will drop in bushes, so just make sure to pick it up. So, it just the crystal kind of just fell into the catapult, that's why it got built. But if I actually were to press forward with this, they're kind of weird. You can kind of jump into the map. Now, let's show off the fire mage. So how the fire mage works is he has a mana right here. Now, his mana is made up of 16 fire, I think, if I can count. Wait, yeah, that's 16 because A on type, A on bottom. All right. So holding down will charge your attack with left click, by the way, and this will set the area on fire. Now this is really good for area of effect attacks, and this is what makes him so strong as a class. Now, just tap firing will just do regular fireball. Now, I think the regular fireball only does like 1 heart, but the charged attack, which is his main strength, will actually set them on fire. And setting your enemy on fire, it's really powerful. It means that they can't sit down and rest, which, by the way, you can hold down Q in order to regain your health. Alright, so once you use mana from the mage, I did just do it, but I'll actually show it. Alright, so I kind of had to jump in the water to get away, which, by the way, when you jump in the water, you actually can, you can't do, like, any of your normal attacks. The only way you're able to do anything in the water is if you previously had charged attack before, and you release it. That's when you can do anything in the water. Other than that, no go. Alright, so in order to regain your mana, just hold down right click, and you'll be immobilized. You can't move at all. So this is what makes the Fire Mage vulnerable, is whenever he runs out of mana and he has to do this. When he runs out of mana, he can't do any attack. So right now I'm missing 2 hearts, so in order to heal that, I hold down Q, and I get 2 health. Well, I'll get however much health I need. So you can just keep sitting down. You can keep sitting down once you're fully healed, and just keep humming. You'll notice that his humming is actually in rhythm with the game, which I find really fun. So moving on to the Frost Mage, which, by the way, you can press F to switch between Tier 1 and Tier 2 of any class. So Tier 1 is the Fire Mage, and Tier 2 is the Frost Mage, which the Frost Mage can hold down to do that. If you actually manage to land that on a player, it'll kind of attach to them and like lock on. I don't know. It's not very good, but when you charge this up, this is much better. It does an area of effect, kind of like freeze. And what that does is it just like locks everyone in place, like completely solid. And that's really good against melee casters or whatever. Another important thing to remember is that the Frost Mage has 4 hearts, whereas the Fire Mage has 3 hearts. So if you ever need more health, you can just switch to the Frost Mage, deal some damage, switch back to the Fire Mage. It's really fun switching between them. Okay, so also thanks for joining, Landon. I see you. I just didn't mention you because I was in the middle of a diatribe or monologue. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention is that the Fire Mage can blink. That's like really important mobility. You blink or teleport by pressing right click. Just tapping it will teleport you away. Now back to the Frost Mage. He has this, and he kind of has this weird vortex thing. Don't even bother with that. It doesn't do anything. It'll do like damage to buildings. But other than that, not worth it. And just tapping left click will release like kind of an ice arrow. Alright, so that's it for the Frost Mage. Oh, speak of the devil. So last thing for the Frost Mage is that he doesn't have a limit to his mana. Instead, when you're using like attacks, his ice builds. And it's to the point where if you manage to fill it up, his staff will kind of have this frozen icon. And if you ever stop casting magic, you'll get frozen. Now, an important thing to note about whenever the staff gets frozen is that you can start resting like right before you get frozen, like right here. See, I would actually be healing health right now, but I'm not because I already have full health. Okay, so there's only 2 players left in the playtest. But I'm gonna make my way back to show off the other classes. So this is the knight. You can find the knight right here. So the neat thing about the knight is that he is very mobile. He's like the most mobile class in the game. And that's even competing with the musketeer, which I'll get to later. He's easily the 2nd most mobile class in the game. Now, he also has a parry attack, which isn't that useful. But what's important to note is that the developer has said that he's going to make a big change to the knight. He's going to make him less dash focused, so he's not going to be able to do that as much. But in exchange, his parry and his damage will be better, which I think is an overall good thing. Now let's move on to the priest.
Someone's got to be the healer.
So the priest, if you hold down your left click, you'll create like a heal circle. Now what this does is, I'm just gonna pick this up and kind of put it in the resources. What this does, it'll heal yourself and your teammates. Now you can hold down your normal heal beam. I'm actually gonna grab this hat real quick. You can hold down your heal beam to fully heal up a teammate. So you can't. It's kind of hard to see his health, but he is being healed. And once your teammate is full health, it's still valuable to heal them because they'll get a bubble on them. Now what this bubble does is it makes them invincible to any damage until the bubble is popped. And any damage dealt to them will pop the bubble. So like a fully charged attack to them, like let's say from the musketeer, is not going to do much. Alright, so the bots, they're just kind of freaking out over here. Gotta help them a little bit. So I'll show you right here. It heals him for half a heart, which is very spammable. So that kind of makes it hard to kill him. Kill the priest. Now, if you use right click, which is his weakest, you can just kind of do a standard attack. Now this attack, it's very similar to the worker's axe, but it just can't break trees. Other than that, it's identical. Well, it can't break crystals too, but you can break like catapults. So it is useful for doing that if you want to break ladders or catapults. Now, this is the Dark Priest. You can press F to switch between them because this is the tier 2 variant of the priest. Now how this guy works is that whenever you deal damage to an enemy with your beam, you actually start filling up your mana. Now the more you fill this up, the stronger this attack will be. And once you get fully charged, I think you do more damage as well. It's kind of not clear. This class is kind of hard to work with. He is going to get reworked. But anyway, so how this class is supposed to work is that when he charges enough, he is supposed to... I'm just making myself. You're not going to know me. He is supposed to be able to use that mana to go ahead and like just heal himself and the enemy team, and not the enemy team, and his own teammates faster than the regular priest. So his ultimate, which, yeah, his ultimate's not that good, but you know, it's still worth giving it a shot. So his ultimate, you kind of hover up in the air, and you drain the life of everyone. So it's a standard attack, but it's against everyone below him, and he heals himself. Which normally the healing himself is not that consistent. So now I have a ton of resources in the castle from the bots just doing the hard work. So I'm going to start showing off, let's say, the musketeer. So in order to get the musketeer, you have to upgrade the ranger. So this is the ranger or the archer, whatever you want to call him. When you upgrade him, you will get the musketeer. Now the musketeer is definitely the best and second most buggiest class in the game. And I assure you the bugs are not to his detriment, they actually make him even stronger. So first of all, his barrels, they have a problem where they instantly destroy random things randomly. It's not consistent at all. But the musketeer is able to use his left click to fire just a normal shot and hold it down to fire a charge shot. Now, the standard shot only deals one damage, 1 heart, and the charge shot deals 2 damage. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but this is actually insane, because this will one-shot workers, which have 2 health. It'll 2-tap demos and priests, which demolitionists and priests, because he can just do this and then fire standard bullet. So hold on, that wasn't a very good showcase. You can do this and then fire standard bullet. See how fast that was? You can nearly instantly kill anyone. And combined with the auto aim, that makes them even stronger. But that's not even the coolest part of this class. The coolest part is these barrels. Now, you can use these to, like, rocket jump. That wasn't a very good demonstration. Hold on, let me try again. So you can use these barrels to traverse the map, like, really far. Now, that's not even, like, a fraction of his power with those. He can use those to get over the castle walls. With his ultimate, you can use them, you can, like, chain tons of bombs to bring the princess over to your own side. Which, by the way, his ultimate's kind of lame. You just throw tons of barrels. Not really interesting. But, you know. Another important thing is that whenever you blow up a bomb, it keeps your momentum. You keep your momentum if you keep jumping. So it's kind of like bee-hopping in the Source engine, but it's not the Source engine, so don't be fooled. But just look how much air you can get from the, that's how much air you can get from the bombs. Now, the Musketeer class has some great potential for spawn camping, which makes him even worse, because he could just sit back here, charge his shots, and then shoot the workers, which is just beyond messed up. But, moving on from the Musketeer, which I think I've shown all he has to offer. You know, he's very fun, but he's very brokenly strong. It's part of why he's fun. Let's be honest. I don't even know why it let me charge a shot right there. Normally you can't do anything in the water. But that's just the Musketeer being budgy. Alright, I don't want them to capture the princess because I still want to show the other classes. This is a unique opportunity. Remember, hold Q in order to heal. It's a very important thing to remember, it's easy to forget. Now, let's move on to the Glaive Warrior. Or you can call him the Lancer, you can call him whatever. So, in order to get the Glaive, you have to upgrade the Knight. Which, I'm able to do this because the castle resources. So, now, the Glaive Warrior, what makes him really good is he has almost as good mobility as the Knight. just from his
The
standard
enemy
attack.
has breached the
But he's
castle.
also able to
Defend
charge,
the princess at all costs.
and he's also able to throw his glaive, which deals around 2 damage fully charged, 1 damage not charged. And you can do that while you're about to die.
The enemy has captured an outpost.
I don't want you
The enemy
to
has dropped the princess.
capture the princess. Okay, so he threw it off the map. But anyway,
We have captured an outpost.
it seems like the knight has like better mobility, which he is easier mobility. But the glaive has almost just as much mobility. I'm gonna say almost, because I'd say it's more consistent getting mobility off with the knight, because you just charge really fast. See, the glaive he's not able to keep charging. He has this little cooldown below him, and that stops him from doing that. But, you know, throwing your glaive is fun. It's actually really easy to get it back. You just have to stand next to it for like a short amount of time.
We've breached the enemy castle door.
You don't actually have to press E or anything like that,
We've breached the enemy castle.
but keep in mind, when you jump over it, oh, never mind. There's certain things like picking up a hat, where if you jump over it, you just can't do it. Also, when he doesn't have his glaive, he can just keep dashing. So, in that case, he does have the best mobility in the game. But without abusing that, which Kuju is going to mess with, because being able to do this, like just switch between them, like boom, that's just broken. What kind of balances out when he just can't really do anything. You can do little punches, which are kind of funny. But anyway, what makes the glaive stronger than the knight is that he's much easier to land his hits, and he is faster with his hits.
The enemy has captured an outpost.
Also, you can kind of like, on the last attack, it kind of stabs him, and you can actually push the enemy forward. It's weird. It's not consistent, but it is pretty cool.
We've breached the enemy castle.
Alright, so, heading back to base, who have I not covered? I haven't covered a lot of classes. Let's cover the archer, which I haven't. So funnily enough. Okay, so the archer, if you ever see a torch on the map, you can light your arrow on fire using this. And then if you were to hit an enemy with a arrow that's on fire, he does way more damage than usual. So just to showcase that, here is the knight, here's the worker. Now, the fully charged shot on its own did 1 heart. A normal charged shot will only do a half a heart. I have the princess. I'm gonna throw this off the map because I don't want him.
We have captured an outpost.
I don't want the princess.
Save me!
We've got the princess.
Okay, well, whatever.
We have captured an outpost.
We probably won't manage to get the princess out.
We've got the
Anyway.
princess.
Sorry, getting sidetracked. So, just standard left click, releases an arrow, hold it down, then you get a charge arrow, it does 1 heart instead of half a heart. And torches light your arrows on fire, and if you left click, oh man, please don't. I know you kind of want to, bots, but please don't. Alright, whatever. So, his right click as the archer, you use like a grappling hook, which allows for some ability, but it's just better to switch to the musketeer and use the barrels.
The enemy has breached our
Okay,
defend the princess
so,
at all costs.
actually, I think I managed to show all the classes. Let's see, I showed the worker in the demo, the ranger and the musketeer, the mage and the frost mage, priest and dark priest,
In her holy name we shall prevail.
knight and glaive. I showed off all the characters. I would call that a success.
We have captured an outpost. The enemy has captured an outpost. We have captured an outpost.
Alright, well.
Someone's got to be the healer.
I don't really have much to show. And it's kind of boring playing against just bots. Because they're just not good.
Anyone got a light?
The enemy has
Let's be
captured
honest.
an outpost.
I mean, I respect the dev so much. He's very responsive in the Discord. But bots, they're just not smart. Like, I could probably kill him. If I was a player, they would have known to target me as a worker because I'm so weak. But because he was a bot, he just didn't. Alright, so I think this is the end of the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is like my most watched stream so far. At least I think. I don't know. Probably going to be. Look at these bots. They just don't know what's up.
We've breached the enemy castle door.
Great. Now I have mana.
We've breached the enemy castle.
Alright, so unfortunately I'm not the last one for this playtest, but I think that's okay.
We've got the princess.
Shout out to Dare General, who chose to be friendly, which is pretty nice for this video. For the stream, I should say. Alright, thank you guys for watching. That's the end of the stream. Goodbye. Can I actually... yeah. Okay, so here is the next playtest. It's all the way in December. So, yeah. That's gonna be a while. And I don't even know if that's true. It might not be accurate. Alright, okay, bye. Actually, for real this time.